All right, we are live. SMT Podcast. We got a special Sunday edition, April 2nd, 2023, inspired by Brandon, who's joining me on today's panel. And we also have Trex. What is going on, gents? How we doing?
Good. How about you,
Pretty good.
Good, man. Excellent. All right, so the inspiration for tonight's podcast on the heels of the 3-year anniversary of the T-Mobile and Sprint merger. And now it's kind of a foregone conclusion that I think we start to see certain things happening at the big Magenta carrier. And Brandon kind of posed the question the other day in the Google chat, and I thought it was a good topic to kind of do a podcast on. So inspired by Brandon, and here we are kind of discussing those things. Let me say some hellos to some people. We got MS, Tech Guy 32. Appreciate you guys for stopping by tonight. Rage and Dusty's in the house. The homie Mike West is here. Yes, sir. Baby Yoda's holding down Mod Squad duties. We got Rich Z. We got Kaz. My brother Ciprione Tech's in the house. IMX is here. Kazi wants to remind you that you could support the SMT by buying me a coffee. Facts. You guys know I love me some coffee, man. I'm all about that cafe life. Yeah, we got all types of stuff. There's the PayPal, there's Cash App, Venmo, it's all that stuff. If you decide that you want to support the channel, those are different ways you could do that. Appreciate it. But of course, if you really want to help out the channel and, donations aren't really a thing, that's quite all right. You can help us out by liking the videos and then sharing them. That helps out a lot. What up, TJ? DDB Freedom. Carlos, appreciate you guys for coming through. RJ is here. RJ chimes in and says, still waiting and praying on the Sprint bad luck curse to take effect on T-Mobile. I hope not. I really don't need good competitors to have bad luck, Hey, what's up, Tone? How you doing, man? I think some people have had bad experiences with certain carriers, so they kind of wish bad fortune on them. I'm kind of the opposite. Where do you stand on that, B? Do you stand on the side of supporting it for the sake of competition, or do you hate any certain carrier so much you're like, man, I hope they just burn?
I'm at the point where I wish them all the best, and right now I don't hate any of them. I mean, I hate to see right now that all this stuff is actually happening to Dish, but we all want to see Dish succeed and not go through all this crap, because at the end of the day, we do need competition, and we don't need all of them to be the same.
Where you at with this, Trex? Chime in, man.
I mean, I don't want any of the carriers to be doing bad, but guess what? It's like you in the bakery. You make some people happy, even unhappy, and they make some people happy. You can't make everyone happy. You could have the best of everything: best network, best customer service, best support, best everything, but you're still gonna make someone unhappy. You can't make please everyone.
Big true. What's up, Bryant? What's going on, sir?
What's up, guys? I apologize for my tardiness. Hope everybody has a good night.
Man. It's all good, man. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us.
Yeah, man.
We were just discussing how, every carrier is going to have disgruntled customers, those that have had them in the past and have moved on. And I was saying how I don't really wish misfortunes and bad things to the carriers, only because I feel like the stronger they each are, a better competitive marketplace we have as the consumer. So for people that have had, bad runs with AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile in the past, they can tend to hold grudges and kind of, I look at the comments in my videos and they're like, oh man, I hate T-Mobile. I hope that they die. I hope the business fails, because they got kind of screwed out of the merger. And then in some cases it's like Verizon, sometimes it's AT&T sentiment, because of billing in the past. And look, and Brandon just talked about Dish. Dish is kind of on fire, literally. But he hopes that they're able to recover and do better, and fix things and all that. I think that's where, the objective, realistic, logical person wants to think, because, any type of weakness kind of is a detriment to the consumer. Where do you stand on that, Brian?
I'm with you, Sneed. I don't have anything to add, man. I'm with you. I'm with you, man. I don't have anything on that. I'm with you.
All right. So 3-year anniversary of the T-Mobile and Sprint merger. Brandon, I want to give you the floor. Okay. It's 3 years, right? All merger concessions, all regulatory requirements. That's it. There's nothing beyond this point. It is April 2nd. This is 3 years from the merger agreement. What happens from here, man?
Jobs will be cut like they have been at Disney and all these tech companies. I see plants becoming legacy plants becoming more expensive. I see promotional plans becoming more and more common. I see maybe brand new T-Mobile Home Internet tiers or whatever going forward sometime this year, maybe, and stuff like that. And I mean, it's going to be pretty interesting now that Neville Ray is going to retire.
I see a couple more people popping in. Tech Guy 32 is here. Gadget Goddess, thanks for coming through, folks. All right, I want to take that first layer of the onion. You mentioned job cuts because you mentioned Disney and all these other corporations that are losing, or cutting jobs. I forget the exact number of employees at T-Mobile, but it's a lot, and they've already laid off like, I don't know, what is it, 10 or 15,000 since the Sprint merger closed. How many more you think, B?
I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do also start closing down a significant amount of stores.
I mean,
I wouldn't even be surprised if they end up contracting them out.
I mean, at the end of the day, guys, they're a business. They're going to start running themselves like a business now.
Right.
The whole government, handout is over, and now they wanted to do these things. They were already starting to increase fees and things of that nature. Now they're going to run themselves like a business that needs to be profitable. So you're going to, in my opinion, start seeing less of the promotions, less of the free this and the free that. That's going to go away, and they're going to start trying to attack profitability. Why? Because they just cut CapEx down to $8 billion. So again, I've been saying this for as long as, Sneed has given me the platform and the ability to be able to say it publicly. You cannot compete with AT&T and Verizon spending only $8 billion on your network. I don't care how much of a 2-3 head year start that you had in your mid-band spectrum deployment. I don't care. That's not enough money to compete long-term at scale. If they continue to compete that way, they're going to get left behind, just like they were years ago before they got to come, before they had this government handout. So now they're in a situation where they have to play hardball. It is what it is.
Austin, you can jump in.
I was going to say, and sarcastically, T-Mobile's the leader. What are you talking about? They literally feed 5G to fields of hay where I was yesterday. Yeah, totally. There was no service whatsoever. And AT&T was even failing. The only one was the Verizon. It's the only one that was running.
Shout out to Verizon.
It was LTE. It was band 13, but it was still there.
Why is everybody acting like band 13 is this horrible band that doesn't work? Can we stop that narrative? Like, band 13 has been serving people for over a decade, and for a long time, that was all that people had because the majority of the industry refused to serve those portions of the country. So can we stop with this whole band 13 sucks thing? Because it really doesn't, Can we stop that? That's like an inaccurate.
Well,
first off, what part of the country do you live in before we continue this debate?
Well, it's not a debate. It has to be reframed, though. Band 13 only is a tough situation.
I mean, in 2023 it is. In 2023 it is, yes. But band 13.
If the network is actually not handled correctly, Verizon's got poor sites in Florida. Verizon's got poor sites throughout the south end of the country.
I mean,
if it's not modernized and actually has the backhaul and the bandwidth, the backhaul to withstand that bandwidth of humanity being in that area, then yes, it's gonna suck. But like I live on band 13 right now because my sector's messed up. I don't get 5G ultra wideband. It's doing cross tower aggregation where it's pulling in 77 from a tower 3.5 miles away, and then using band 13 as an anchor band. And then when that 5G ultra wideband, I don't get it, I'm stuck on band 13, and it's perfectly fine where I live. Note my place has a population of only 1,500 people.
So again, like band 13 is not a bad band. It's not horrible service or any of those things. We all know sites need to be modernized. That's ongoing. We all get that. But that narrative is just inaccurate. I mean, we're talking about, sections and portions of the country that had nothing before those band 13 sites were implemented. And now all of a sudden in 2023, people think that frequency is just horrible. It's really not. We just need, situations where there's more spectrum that needs to be deployed. You need to get 4TX out there. You need to get the radios at the top of the tower. You got to modernize the sites. We already know that. A lot of that stuff is going. It's just, it's, I don't know. The narrative is just tired. I mean, at the end of the day, it's happening. It's going to happen. It's happening across the country. These sites are being modernized. We know, guys. We get it. There are rule customers who want the band, who want the throughput. We get it. We know.
In my area, they're not upgrading LTE panels at all. They're
Yes,
just
they are.
on
Yes, they are.
C-band.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. That's inaccurate. Every site, just about every site that's being touched, at least for Verizon, what you're seeing is LTE being upgraded, radios going to the top of the tower. You're getting dual band radios getting placed up. You're getting antennas being changed out, in addition to 5G being placed on the sites, and then also CBRS on most of those sites as well.
Well, it depends on where you are too with the CBRS, because there's
the CBRS is more regional. That's
true.
Yeah.
That's true, and that's why I said in most places. So in places where it makes sense, CBRS is being deployed.
Top 50 markets, definitely.
But at minimum, what you're seeing, if Verizon's touching a site, they're modernizing LTE as well. It makes sense to do that.
I've seen in Sneed and Crystal River, Florida, Verizon's LTE is the same speed as 5G ultra wideband.
Wow. Now, I will tell you guys about Florida. All carriers have trouble with transport.
No, T-Mobile doesn't. T-Mobile's able to do 2 gig backhaul, 2 gigabits now.
How's that possible?
1.8 on T-Mobile.
How is that possible? And T-Mobile doesn't even own any fiber. If they have good backhaul in Florida, then that means AT&T and Verizon do too.
But Brian, they don't have to own their own fiber. A lot of the times they'll get it from Comcast, they'll get it from Lumen, they'll get it from Spectrum, they'll get it from.
It's Lumen. It's Lumen in this area.
And they don't sell circuits to Verizon and AT&T in Florida.
No, Verizon's getting to the point now to where they want to start doing their own thing.
Yeah, so if they're doing their own thing, you mean to tell me they wouldn't put a 10 gig backhaul onto a site in Florida? Why wouldn't they do that? What would stop them from doing that? Does Lumen have a better capability in Florida than Verizon or AT&T does?
Because you got to run all the fiber.
Okay, well, so what, they can't run it? I mean, I don't get it.
Well, that
depends
on to the municipality. That depends on the value of price. It depends on to a lot of factors, and a lot of factors that I don't have because I'm not an engineer.
So Lumen has better relationships with those counties and municipalities in Florida than Verizon and AT&T do? That's news. I mean, to me, it seems like the original statement was that a lot of carriers are struggling with backhaul in Florida. To that point, I do agree. That has been something that's been discussed in years past, and it's been recent years past. Now, if something's changed, maybe that I'm willing to be re-educated. Maybe there's something I don't know because I don't live in Florida.
The whole backhaul thing actually has been a problem throughout all of the southern United States. It's not just a Florida thing. This is happening.
Yeah, the South is
Tennessee.
rough.
Tennessee's another bad state.
Brian, there are some sites that don't even have 100 megabits on the backhaul, dude.
I don't deny that. I mean, I'm sure that's probably the case. I'm just talking about like at scale throughout the entire state of Florida. Are we talking about a widespread thing with 2 out of the 3 carriers? Only 1 carrier has good backhaul in the state of Florida, and the other 2 are struggling?
No. I think it's across the state. The carriers need higher capacity circuits, but it's just not there yet.
Gotcha.
I can confirm.
You know, that's what I think is more of the trouble. I don't think it's carrier specific. Trex, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, okay, I got you. That makes sense.
I can confirm a lot of sites here are still 1 gig, but I have been recently have a couple sites that I've gotten 1.8 gigabytes on T-Mobile N41. And
Yeah,
I know
a
that
lot of that.
and T-Mobile, I know, is using Zayo. I can send you a permit for a Zayo small cell for T-Mobile.
All I'm gonna say
But
is
they're-
this, bro. I'm gonna go on a limb here. Does that 1.8 gigabits make the same difference that 100 megabits does?
Is this Carlos?
I
Yeah,
swear
it
to
is.
God.
Carlos, what did you do to your voice?
Yeah, what
What do you mean, what did I
sound
do?
like a kid.
Bro, you sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Alvin, Simon, Theodore.
hey, Steve, that's what happens when you're on AT&T, all right?
Ah, damn, son. All right. Carlos?
You guys
Or
are
is it
crazy,
Alvin?
man.
How about now?
All right, you're
Now you
fixed,
sound
bro.
better.
Wow.
You don't
Welcome
sound
back,
like
Los. Welcome
look.
back. Welcome back.
All I'm gonna say is this, bro. I am so tired of people using a speed test as a way to determine the reliability of a network, bro.
Facts. Facts.
Like get that shit out of your guys' head already.
Okay,
about a
hold
speed
on.
test.
Okay, Carlos.
It's about the connection being
Carlos,
there
I agree. Hold on a second,
and a
though.
call going through.
You guys are right, and these conversations are great, but can we get through the T-Mobile merger thing before we get derailed?
So my bad. I take
my
responsibility for that,
hey,
guys. I'm sorry. My bad. My
No,
bad.
it's okay. We're gonna come back to it. Let's
Like-
because me and B were kind of discussing this. You know, like what was it, like Friday night or something? So B, you talked about the jobs, right? And then you also mentioned retail, which I think the retail and the jobs kind of go together, right? What else, B? What else you expect? Did we lose Brandon?
I'm sorry, I was muted. I'm
No
sorry.
problem. Yeah, Brandon. What else did you want to do? Because there were about 4 or 5 things that you mentioned. If this is an onion, we just peeled kind of like
well, I
the
mean,
retail.
I feel that they're definitely. I feel like we're definitely gonna.
You mentioned promotional pricing. That's what it was. Go on.
Yeah, promotional pricing. I feel like that's gonna be the new norm going forward. I mean, Verizon's doing it. Spectrum and Comcast are doing it. T-Mobile's has done that before in the past. Even Sprint. Remember back then, Sprint and T-Mobile used to do 4 lines for 100.
Yep.
I feel that that's going to be something similar going forward. They might end up doing that on the cheaper plan, but on the cheaper plans, but they're going to get most people to go to Magenta MAX when they're in the stores.
I just saw a report, and this was scattered, but there's a T-Mobile store that did someone dirty, and I saw someone complaining on social media this morning in our local area. I'm like, whoopsie.
Did they drive into the store, Austin?
Yeah, they went into a store and their T-Mobile home internet increased by $100. I don't know how that happened.
More than likely, it could have been that they're outside the area, or
They're in an
got
area.
the speed tier.
Nope, they have the T-Mobile 5G home internet. It's $50, but some reason their bill just came in and it's $150.
Some areas might be eligible for T-Mobile home internet, but it's only up to 300 gigabytes, and then you're subject to overages right after, depending on
Yeah,
the
it's
plan.
$150 a month.
Damn.
I guess they got an April Fool's bill.
Well, I know they're fighting it right now
Yeah.
because T-Mobile does not state that in this area.
For the pricing?
Nope, they do not. They just say $50 a month. Cut the cable. Cut the cable. So
ACU. Sorry.
But it's
Verizon's the only one that does that $25. But if you don't have a Verizon line, then they say they're this price. But T-Mobile does not have no clarifications on that.
Hey, Brian,
Yeah,
what's your favorite Un-carrier event?
I don't have any favorite Un-carrier events.
Oh,
Why?
come on!
Damn, son. He's
I-
like,
I-
hell no.
I don't have any. I don't have any favorite Un-carrier events, sir. Just being honest, man. I don't have any. I'm not a fan of that company. For a lot of reasons. and part of the conversation that we're having right now is part of the problem.
You know,
They do a lot of underhanded, sneaky stuff, and for whatever reason, the media and customers, they just let it roll off their backs, and it's like they get away with highway robbery, and I have a problem with that personally. But
Okay, so then why does Verizon have like the best of both worlds when it comes to all these free perks?
can you clarify the question? I'm not sure I understand.
Meaning that they give away the Disney bundle, you get 1 year of Discovery Plus, Netflix, Apple Music, and all this other stuff.
Well, I mean, Verizon.
Pretty much they're giving away more than T-Mobile is at this point.
Well, Verizon's like the carrier of choice when it comes to partnerships because they got like 1 billion connections worldwide, and generally their customer base here in America, they're generally a little bit more affluent. So because of that, everybody wants to do business with the Verizon customer because they got a few bucks to spend and they pay their bills on time, and they're not going to nickel and dime or be upset about an extra $5 or $10. So because of that, Disney knocks on their door, I'm sure. And so does, just about every other content provider. That's how they were able to do the whole plus play thing. I mean, everybody wants to do business with Verizon when it comes to content and whatnot, because it works. It's profitable. It makes sense. It drives revenue. So that's probably why they got such
Go
good.
90.
I mean, that was like a decade ago, man.
Yeah, go 90.
So
let me be fair. Let me be fair and answer the question. Verizon's not good at creating content. That's why they're the partner of choice. So they're not creating any of Disney's content. They're partnering with Disney and saying, hey, look, you create content very well that people want. We have access to the people. The people who, generally are more affluent, can pay bills, yada, yada, yada.
So basically,
partner with us,
channel, right?
Yeah, partner with us. We will be the distribution by which you have the ability to get your content to the masses. Partner with us because we don't do content creation well, is what Verizon obviously tried to do with Go90 and it didn't work. So partnering is not only more cost effective, but it works better because we don't have to create the content, we don't have to license it, we don't have to be responsible for paying actors or any other stuff, is what Verizon was probably saying. And so it's easier to partner, it's more lucrative, and it creates a sticky situation for customers. It's more challenging for them to leave because they got all these other services in conjunction with the network that they've grown to be accustomed to working the majority of the time. Very, very well the majority of the time. So it's a brilliant strategy by Verizon, and it's working very well.
I had a question. Since Sneed, April 1st, did anyone for April Fools that kept their Sprint SIM cards, straight up Sprint, never moved over to any of the T-Mobile notices of moving over your SIM card? Did your April Fools end to a no service?
Alvin S. Tech.
Then, of course, we have a super chat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, let's get to Green's super chat. This one from Green saying, great news, Verizon is upgrading our towers and giving us C-band in Bourne, Texas. Happy for you. Glad to see that they're upgrading there. I think a lot of people are going to kind of, if they haven't really gotten the upgrades at scale in 2022, the top 46 PEAs, I think it's like you're looking at the top 100 mostly getting done this year, and then kind of things rounding out in 2024. So it's exciting. A lot of people are going to possibly have an improved network experience along with a possible fixed wireless access option. So if you're looking for a competitor to DSL, if you're looking for a better pricing format than, say, for example, cable, that's what this new Verizon 5G Ultra Wideband network can do. It can bring those types of market pressures, which is good. Happy for you, Green. Enjoy the upgrades.
I'm 200 megabits shy of 1 gigabit on Comcast now.
How's that reliability?
That reliability is okay. I mean, yeah, it's getting better.
Jacked them prices up in a year.
I'm no longer in a contract, so they haven't. They already jacked them up like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah. That's what they do. That's what they do, man.
It's what they do, man.
And it's only 117. It actually came down.
Yeah, there must be a new competitor in the area.
Verizon, T-Mobile. I don't know.
Maybe.
No.
B, what else? You mentioned the promotional pricing, the retail, the jobs, anything on pricing that you think specifically will change? How about
I mean,
legacy plans?
I feel
How
that
about
I
how
feel
about the
that's
uncarrier stuff? How about the taxes and fees? How about the activation costs? How about
I mean,
Magenta
aren't they
MAX?
already
How about
doing
the home
a
internet costs? Talk to me about that stuff.
We need the home internet to cost $420. Psych,
What?
April Fools.
Oh no, that
I
bro,
think the
that
internet
is
pricing jumping to 60.
I mean, honestly, I can see taxes and fees being paid, going away. They're a business now. They had to run like a business now. I mean, you can't give away the shop. You got prices locked in. You got taxes and fees. You got Netflix included. All
Netflix is
this stuff.
gone.
To my knowledge, they're still offering that as a part of their Magenta Max. So, congratulations to them for that. But you've
I
got
still
to
have
have a
Netflix.
way. You've got to have a way to increase revenue. You got to be able to increase top line revenue if you want to be
I
able to
don't think
continue to
the
play
home
ball.
internet will. I don't think the home internet will be more expensive. As a matter of fact, I think they might even make a cheaper plan and they make a more expensive new tier or something like that for the home internet.
Well, I don't think they do much to home internet pricing just because it's moving very well. It's their biggest growth product right now, and they already
Right.
moved pricing down in order to compete with Verizon, who did the $25 and the $50 thing. So they'll probably stay the same on that. But the lowest hanging fruit right now is taxes and fees. I can't see that going away because they already locked in pricing for life. That was stupid, but they did. But they didn't necessarily do that with taxes and fees. So I feel like that's the
Was
easy
it?
thing. That's the easy thing to yank back. That's
Well,
only
Brian,
what.
you're gonna see a surprise coming soon. Then see a surprise coming soon because my connects have never been wrong yet. I'll tell you that much.
Uh-oh.
And my credibility, you can ask Sneed, bro. My credibility with my sources have been on 100 spot on.
Yeah.
Okay, Loso. So you disagree? You think the home internet pricing is going to go up?
No, taxes and fees are gonna be a thing of the past. Then.
Absolutely. So I'm right, man. Like taxes and fees are the low hanging fruit. Like that's what they're going to go after first. Customers are going to have to start paying that first because they can't mess with the actual rates right now. If they do that, then they'll have a mass exodus. So they'll
So
mess with
Brian,
taxes and fees first.
another thing I was showing the community behind the scenes on the Google Meets a couple weeks ago. I have a line that's on regular Magenta, a sub level account, and all of a sudden my ultra capacity icon disappeared. I'm like, what the hell? So I go on my T-Mobile app, and there's a $10 add-on for ultra capacity on that account. And I called in, and they said that there's some accounts that are being beta tested on that. And I guess with that sub account of mine was one of them.
I'm not surprised. They're going to be looking for
Oh,
any way that they can to drive revenue. Again, they know what I know. They know what we all know. $8 billion versus 19. You can't compete at scale in that way, especially with Verizon adding 200 million people in less than a year and a half. I mean, they did it in what, 13 months?
It's
At that
crazy.
pace, they'll be.
Millimeter wave will be, if T-Mobile starts deploying it, it will be an add-on.
Ooh.
They won't take away mid-band, but they'll start charging a $5 or $10 surcharge like Verizon does
But
for
what? But
millimeter
why
wave.
would?
But
Why
Verizon's
would
not
they do
charging.
that?
Verizon's
But
not
why
charging
would?
a surcharge. They'd be the only ones doing it if they do. That would be very bold. If they do that, I'll say, okay, they got some balls. But I can't see. I mean, you may be right. But if
Well,
they do that, I will say they got some balls.
Verizon introduced that with the 5G ultra wideband as an add-on.
That's true, but they retracted it because it pissed off too many people.
Yeah,
They did retract it. So if T-Mobile comes out and does that, I will say they got balls because you already know Verizon and AT&T will probably follow suit. But I can't see T-Mobile doing that first. I think taxes and fees are what's first. That's going to go away.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Alex. Thank you for the super chat. He said, did a speed test today in Seattle on T-Mobile, iPhone 14 Pro, iOS 16.4, 1.5 gigs indoors, surprisingly 300 megabit up, latency 9. That's an incredible connection. That's really quality
That's
stuff,
really good.
Alex. Thanks for sharing that.
Very,
All right,
very
now
good.
to kind of cover what you guys just mentioned. So the millimeter wave piece is interesting. I feel like it's really going to, if we're going to predict what it's going to be about, it's really going to be about the home internet product, right? And it's going to have to be something that works on a 3GGP standard. They got to get better customer premise equipment, obviously, but it's hard for them to do millimeter wave when they don't have the pedigree.
The
Like
fiber.
we've seen what Verizon has done with fiber, access to sites, and 3 years of dedication to the build. Like I can tell you right now that what Verizon did in the first 3 years in millimeter wave, I'm not even exaggerating. I think it would take T-Mobile 9 years. I think it would take 3 times as long, if not longer. So like if Verizon stopped millimeter wave today, like we would not see a T-Mobile millimeter wave network that matched it to like 2033.
I will
think
say
T-Mobile
this,
could catch up
Need.
if they spend.
I
but
will say
their spend
this.
is going down though. That's kind of what
Spend
I'm
what
saying.
money? Spend what
Yeah.
money in what world? There's got to be realistic cash flow. Like, where's the money? They just decreased it. Like, where's the money going to come from, guys?
When are we expecting network slicing to become an actual thing?
Fourth quarter this year.
Fourth quarter this year, T-Mobile will make C-band and DoD part of an upgrade package. Have 2.5 have the main bands be on a what is it called? You know, for everyone. T-Mobile will make DoD, C-band, and millimeter wave an add-on, $10 extra a month. You know, network slicing. They'll be able to have it just be for that. They need to make back the money that they're spending on the DoD and all that. They paid twice as much as everyone else.
And that's why I said earlier that they'll probably make they'll make another tier for home internet, and it'll probably be a premium priority like Verizon has.
See, I mentioned that before too in a conversation, Brandon. I think that's actually good, right? So like if people like the way that the T-Mobile home internet is today, continue to offer that standard of service, you know, deprioritized, no data caps, but you're subject to network management at all times, right? But then offer one with a dedicated QCI that you can charge 50% more for. So like if you sell the entry level plan for $40 a month unlimited, you still compete against cable. But if you offer something a little bit more guaranteed, sell it for 60 or 65, whatever, however they structure it. But
Right.
allow it to be distinguishable from the lower level one. And then people can choose what they want. I think, and I'm dead serious here, 2 versions of everything is good. Right? Not 4 versions of everything, but 2 versions of everything. Like, so one of the things that we saw T-Mobile have success with was they had Magenta and then Magenta with the Plus, right? And then customers really liked it because it was basically, do I need 1080p video? Do I need 480p video? You know, I could save money with the lower. Which one do I want? It was simple marketing, simple messaging, simple understanding for the customer. With
So
3-4 versions of everything, things get messy, but I think they could do that with the T-Mobile home internet.
Because I remember T-Mobile used to actually have only 2 plans: T-Mobile One and T-Mobile One Plus, and that was it. And then they started doing Magenta Max, and they started
Because they retired the T-Mobile One.
Yeah, I was about to
Right.
bring that up, Brandon didn't. And then the T-Mobile One Plus, Brandon, you would have to turn on the HD streaming. Even though that you upgraded to One Plus, you would have to still turn on that HD streaming.
I just want to make sure I understand, guys. You're talking about, in order to make this happen, you've got to create another brand of 5G. So you're going to go 5G Edge, T-Mobile, 5G Edge, and then 5G UC, and then there's going to be another tier, and then you're going to sell that tier for home internet, and it will be more expensive. That's
I
a
mean,
third tier of 5G, and that's where I think that people
no,
will get confused.
but this would be for residential, like for residential use. This wouldn't be like for mobile.
I can see T-Mobile getting rid of free lines. You know, 1 free line per account, per every paid line.
Hi, Keon. Keon super chatted.
Thanks, Keon. Appreciate it. T-Mobile does need millimeter wave. At this time, it needs to be SA to work.
Not true. Verizon
Not
has
true.
it, and it's not
Verizon
it's not
doesn't.
standalone. Verizon has millimeter wave, and it's not standalone. You don't have to have standalone in order for
Maybe,
millimeter wave to work.
yeah, appreciate the super chat, Keon. Maybe Keon means for it to be better for them. I don't know.
Me and Yusni have talked about this. T-Mobile could be waiting to deploy millimeter wave until the new panels and all that come out.
Sure.
But the thing is, Trex, is that the millimeter wave that's out now. The Verizon millimeter wave that's out now. It's almost the same speed as mid-band right now.
What?
No, it's not. What?
No, it's not.
Well, I kind of get what B's saying. He's basically saying the peak throughput with all these aggregation and when you've got all your spectrum on air, we're seeing 2+ gigs now on mid-band. So like what he's saying is, well, maybe the millimeter wave is kind of underwhelming and maybe the mid-band is kind of overwhelming. Maybe it's a little bit of both. In my opinion, we haven't seen the best version of millimeter wave though, Brandon. Like it's not even close.
Well,
I respectfully disagree. Disagree.
What's out now, but obviously the potential millimeter wave could actually do more. But I'm saying, what's out almost right now, it's almost 50% of what millimeter wave could actually do now.
I respectfully disagree.
Go ahead, Brian.
I mean, millimeter wave is getting you 4 gigabits down and getting you 200 megabits up.
300, 400, 500.
I haven't seen.
What are you talking about? I get 500 to 600 upload, bro.
I haven't seen. I haven't seen C-band get anywhere close to that. I haven't seen N41 get anywhere close to that. Millimeter wave is still the cheat code. It's still the standard, to put it like Sneed talks about it. Like it's still the cheat code, guys. And keep in mind, there's only one company that's really transmitting millimeter wave at any sort of recognizable scale, and that's Verizon. And Verizon's still doing that on the 4G core in most areas. So the fact that they're getting 4 gigabits down on a 4G core that's not standalone on the 5G side of the house, that's outstanding. And it's already getting 4 gigs down. So no, it's not even close.
Verizon is wasting capital on millimeter wave though.
That's preposterous, Steve.
That's preposterous. Brian, a lot of people.
Oh shit.
Brian, a lot of people called me a liar, bro, about millimeter wave, bro. They're like, it does not go through glass. It does not go through buildings, bro. I'm going in the Flamingo Hotel and Casino, bro, here in Vegas, getting millimeter wave, bro. Getting 2 gigs down, bro. Inside the casino, in the middle of the floor.
Talk about it, Carlos.
Outside.
Preach. Somebody passed the collection plate.
I love millimeter wave, bro. Like that connection, bro. That connection is God tier, bro.
Yeah, it is the cheat code, man.
Upgrade a panel once.
Hold on, let me get Trex get in real quick. Say what you got to say so Carlos can get back at you.
I like millimeter wave, but Verizon's already had to replace millimeter wave panels once, and they're still not on the newer technology, the 4x4 MIMO and all that. They're gonna have to replace them again.
They will, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They
okay,
will.
and Verizon will replace them.
Yeah, they will.
They are wasting
what does that
all
mean?
the capex.
How are you wasting capex? That's not a waste. That's not a waste, man.
But hold on. All these panels that are getting put up for millimeter wave, they actually do support it. It's just by a software update. FYI.
Exactly. What are we talking about? It's not a waste.
Software.
You know what?
You upgrade the software, and that's that.
You guys bring up a good point. I think if Verizon needed more capacity on those millimeter wave nodes, they would force the issue. They would enable those updates. They would increase the bandwidth if they really felt like they needed it, because they have more licenses, right? They've got deeper channels. They could do it.
My connection, my RF person at Verizon already told me they already have the update. They just got to push it out. Whenever they need more capacity, they'll pull it out. They don't need the capacity right on the millimeter wave. They already have it ready to go.
Here's another funny thing. The Coliseum where March Madness took place in North Carolina, they're now upgrading that tower.
Of course they are. Hey, big shout out to S Blue Tech. What's up, Santiago? Thanks for the super chat. Does anyone know if either N77 or millimeter wave is available in Hawaii yet? It wasn't last year when I was there.
No,
millimeter wave
in Hawaii.
Millimeter wave is in Hawaii. N77 is not. Unfortunately, I don't think Verizon has licenses for N77 in Hawaii at this time.
Nobody will.
Yeah, but millimeter wave is. But millimeter wave is in Hawaii. Millimeter wave is there.
Yeah.
But to the point, let's all bashing of millimeter wave must stop.
Bro.
All
Well,
bashing
okay,
millimeter.
so
But
the only
but but,
bashing
but
of
Brian, but
millimeter wave
Brian,
we
let's
can
face it.
hold on.
Brian, let's
The
face
only
it. You can. Dude, sorry, go.
the only bashing of millimeter wave we can do is AT&T. Don't even get me started.
Brian, I wish they would put the damn node already on my block, bro. I miss living in my old house where I have millimeter wave right next door, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It really is great.
Bro.
It really
And
is
then
great.
Verizon,
But
look at this premium equipment Verizon has for their home, the LV65, bro. This is some premium equipment, bro. That's
yeah, man.
premium, bro.
It's
Now,
outstanding.
Verizon don't play, bro, when it comes to their premium equipment. This is why I take them serious, is for that reason. Because when they come out with something, bro, it's hot, bro. Like that LV65, that's what T-Mobile should have came out with instead of that Sage Con. That
Collection
should have been
plate,
T-Mobile's
please.
move.
Collection plate, please. Yo, Carlos, you on it, man? You on it tonight?
Donation.
It's facts, bro. It's facts. I'm just stating facts, bro. T-Mobile should have been the first one with that product and shit it all over Verizon on it.
They can't afford it, so no, that's pipe dream. That's the reason why they really. That's the true reason why they didn't really want to invest in millimeter wave anyway, in my opinion. They just you can't afford it. Verizon has like 30,000 plus nodes out, and it's extremely expensive to build those things. The front haul alone, each radio requires a 10 gig link. That's just the front haul. So it's extremely expensive, especially when you don't own any fiber, like they don't. So that's not a cost-effective solution for them at this time. That's why they went where they went as far as with midband. It makes perfect sense, perfect business sense. With Verizon, they have the capital to be able to invest in those things. They just slow down on the millimeter wave build right now because they focus on getting C-band out there, which they're doing very well at. They'll probably be at 250 million pops plus by the end of the year. So especially with the FAA getting out of their way now officially. So I mean, they'll finish out the C-band, and then from there they'll probably get right back to doing millimeter wave in 2024.
the Echo
Hey, Brian, when is Verizon going to do 10 gigabits on millimeter wave?
Whenever they want to. The technology is already there. They just got to pretty much snap their fingers and do it whenever they see fit. But right now, I don't think the question is when is Verizon going to do it. I think a better question is when is the customer going to want to actually be able to pay for those things? When is the need going to be there? And Verizon's not going to. They're not in the business of just building things that customers aren't ready or willing or able to pay for. I don't think any company would want to do that. So until
we've ready right now for millimeter wave,
yes, they are. Ask the people at the Super Bowl. Yes, those people were certainly ready for that.
The least tech savvy people.
Well, I mean, but they were using the service. You don't need to be tech savvy to click on the little circle that's for Google Chrome and go ESPN.com. You don't need to be tech savvy to do that, but you do need to be able to use your phone in a bowl with 70,000 people. Millimeter wave, there's certainly a use case. There's definitely a use case for millimeter wave, and that's why it's been deployed strategically in the places that it's in. But why build a product for 10 gigs that people aren't willing and able to pay for? There's no use case for it yet. So you hold that as a tool in the toolbox.
Have applications that could even utilize millimeter wave right now.
But you do. Like you do have those applications, but you don't necessarily have applications that need 10 gigs. So why deploy it at this time?
Even 3 to 4 gigs. The only application that could utilize that is Ookla.
With this millimeter wave, you're overlooking a few things. The biggest benefit to millimeter wave is the lower latency for the transmission, which is why we'll be seeing it within the next 10 years for remote surgery.
Yep.
When it comes to having a 10 gig downlink on millimeter wave, it is indeed theoretically doable. However, the likelihood of Verizon or the customers willing to front the cost to get the antennas that will broadcast 10 gigs down of millimeter wave is unlikely, because we'll be doing low latency slices, which would take up more bandwidth away from the enhanced broadband before we do 10 gigs down. So You're never going to see it. We're going to have better applications for that spectrum.
And I think you'll see it in the future, but not right now. Yeah, I don't think there's a need to build that right now.
Nobody needs a 10 gig downlink to their YouTube viewer, their sneedmobile tech viewer.
Exactly. I mean, it's just not need for right now.
What we do need is the ability to do remote surgery on that spectrum for undermanned hospitals with lesser able surgeons.
You can do that with 4 gigs down and 500 megs up. You can do that right now.
What I'm getting at is we're going to be seeing slicing taking up the bandwidth that would give you that 10 gig down before we get to 10 gig down.
That's probably true. Yeah, I agree with that.
Only an ISP needs that type of enhanced broadband connectivity on their mobile. And Verizon will probably already be giving it with their home internet.
Agreed. Mm-hmm. And the doctor has spoken.
Agreed.
The Bearded Dragon, what speed do you think right now people need on millimeter wave right now?
What speed do they need? I mean, 4 gigs is a good sign to, strut your stuff.
Yeah,
but
especially at the cost people are paying. I mean, it's home internet. It's $50 a month. What are we talking about right now? If it was 1 gig, it would be good enough.
We're talking about the best value in wireless ISP.
Exactly, it's $50, guys. What are we talking about right now?
It's actually 60.
Okay, I'm sorry, $60. What are we talking about right now?
If you have a line with Verizon, well, go ahead, Pete.
But all in all we need is 600 with low latency for every single application we run on our phone, with the exception of a speed test app.
I would say 500.
That's fair, and that's fine, and I agree. And you can get that with millimeter wave. You can get it with C-band. And it's $50. It's 60. I'm sorry. Let me be more. It's $60. It's $6. Okay, sorry. It's $60. That's still very affordable. It's cheaper than what big cables are priced at.
If we go faster than that, the only place we'd really notice the difference is in our speed test app. I mean, watching a Sneed video in 4K, if it's a 12-minute video, if I'm doing
in total
1 gig a second, I'm done before the first minute.
Yeah, it's 2-3 gigs of data.
Yeah, after a certain point, it's all about return on investment. If I'm going to invest in building a network out that's going to be able to do these types of speeds, you got to think about what the customer is able to pay for. And if people think 60, however many bucks is too expensive, then why would I give them much more than what millimeter wave is given? I mean, it just doesn't make business sense. It doesn't make sense. People can't afford that right now. There's not enough use cases to propel people to those price points. So if I'm Verizon, I'm good.
Just for
go on.
We're gonna get a network slice just for like Magenta MAX Plus, or Verizon Get More Plus, where it's just gonna be a slice just for, that plan in the future.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I can see maybe T-Mobile doing that. Yeah.
I was happy when I was living at my other house, bro. I was happy paying. At the time, it was $40 with, since I have a Verizon account, it was $40 for the highest speed tier. And it said guaranteed up to 1 gig. Bro, I was getting 2 gigs down, bro, and like 300 up, bro. I was happy. I'm like, damn, where the hell am I going to get that type of speed for that price, bro? For $40. This is
the golden age of connectivity right now. And it's a little bit like crazy to hear people still complaining, like, are you serious right now, man? These prices are outrageous, and the amount of speeds that people are getting for the pricing that they're getting, it's just unreal, man. It's unreal.
I'm going to agree with the golden age of connectivity because, as I said, next 5 years we're going to be going lower and lower in speeds, but we're going to be having more and more varied applications with the spectrum.
Well, I don't know if speeds will go down, but I do think pricing will rise, and it'll start with the MVNOs first.
That too.
However, price point will rise.
The different usages for the spectrum will keep the consumer lines from getting as much of a price increase as they would otherwise.
I'm interested in knowing more about that, Doctor. Tell me more. What do you? Why do you say
Network
that?
slicing. You can monetize the spectrum down to the second per application as long as you hit service level agreements. You can charge more for a guaranteed low latency connection for a device to connect between two devices at low latency than you can charging for the extra 200 megs down you'd get on that same spectrum of millimeter wave. So
I
the
think that's fair.
other applications are going to be subsidizing our handsets.
I think that's fair, but I still think
We're-
prices will increase on the consumer basis as
I'm
well.
not saying they're not going to increase. I'm saying that the different applications you can do with the spectrum with slicing will make it so these prices do not increase as fast as they would otherwise. I mean, in 5 years, could you imagine us having cars that are communicating over mid-band to figure out how to avoid accidents when we're on autopilot in our Teslas or something?
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's not going to be free. That is going to be a subscription on the car, and that 10 megahertz of mid-band is going to cost us more as drivers when we're subbing to it than it would be if we got an extra 10 megahertz of mid-band on our phone.
So
I agree.
so
I think that's fair. Yeah.
So the way I look at it is, up till this point, people have been paying for an unlimited data plan, mindlessly just using their phone, seamlessly connecting from cell to cell, having a connection wherever they go. So far, their only concern has been coverage and reliability. I think there comes a point in the near future. By near future, I mean the next 5 to 10 years, where I truly believe this. This is my prediction. You will be renting time and lanes, right? You'll be renting time and usage within certain performance metrics, right? So there's going to be like certain service modes that you can enable and disable on demand. So SMT is uploading a 4K video, 8K video, and he's using his Verizon line, and there's a special lane that offers a priority uplink of 1 gigabit per second. And I can
Where
get
are
that
you
8K.
uploading to?
I'm going to upload it through YouTube, right? And I'll have premium YouTube, right, which will enable the server to give me priority access. So basically, this is a business use case because the SMT YouTube channel is a business, right? I think it's the business side, Pete, that's going to enable a lot of this revenue stream that all these companies are talking about. I think that's where it starts.
Oh,
You're
definitely.
absolutely right. Sneed is right, and that's
That-
a huge reason why Verizon decided to invest in millimeter wave first. There was no mid band available to as far as auction is concerned anyway. So they invested in millimeter wave because that gave the new use cases that Sneed has just described, and I think Pete was describing it as well.
Yeah,
Network slicing, all that stuff. Yeah.
Vehicle to X communication, which is your cars talking, even if it's on 10 megahertz, is a business enterprise application for the spectrum that these carriers who have the licenses to are going to be leasing to the car companies.
Absolutely. Yep.
And that 10 megahertz will get them more money from those car companies than it would be if I was getting an extra 50 meg down on my N41 connection.
I think that's accurate, and the doctor has spoken.
Sneed, I hope what you said becomes a reality because, man, when I went down to Universal Studio, uploading 12 gigs was a nightmare.
I truly believe this, Austin. There will come a point where all of your connectivity, whether you're at home or mobile, will be exactly the same. You will not be making active decisions about when and how to upload content, when and how to consume content, right? Whether it's business or consumer, there will come a point where you will not feel any difference in networking. right? And that is an indication and a sign of real progress, because right now I got to drive home to upload high resolution content.
Even with
Right?
you,
I got to get on my 1 gig circuit. You see what I'm saying?
wait.
Now, if
How
I
do
can
you
get
think
to a
the
millimeter wave node, then sure. But I have to drive to a millimeter wave node. It's not ubiquitous to the point where I'm connecting to these nodes while I'm driving around all of Cleveland. I have to be in a certain part of Cleveland. This is going to take time.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that it's cost effective for Verizon or really any carrier to build out millimeter wave to the fact or to the point where it's ubiquitous, like you were describing, Sneed. But I definitely think there's more room for the coverage to grow for millimeter wave. So I think Verizon will get back to building out small cells with that on it, in addition to upgrading those cells and putting C-band and stuff on it as well. So
I think
it'll
Verizon
probably
should
be in more
approach every
places.
school. I think Verizon
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think
Yeah,
they should approach every college campus, every science and technology department.
agreed. And
what you're
I
talking
definitely,
about,
I definitely think so. Yeah.
like how I was telling you, Sneer, about what we were talking about in the Patreon live stream. Have Ericsson and Nokia create a Wi-Fi and a millimeter wave antenna in one.
Mm-hmm.
And Comcast, or not Comcast, Croncast can go in and say, all right, school district, we'll take over your Wi-Fi and we'll install millimeter wave to create better safety for phone calls for, with the industry now, nowadays, it'll be better safety for students and for, things.
Why do millimeter wave and Wi-Fi at the same time? Why not just say we're going to go in with millimeter wave?
Because schools, do you really think schools, school teachers and all that, they all connect through Wi-Fi nowadays? They'll basically take over the Wi-Fi from the school board running it. It will be basically a private,
private network, which you could do over millimeter wave, right?
Yeah. So you wouldn't need Wi-Fi at all. Why not get rid of the Wi-Fi and just do millimeter wave? Is what I was asking. I probably should have phrased it better.
I'm going to say that there is going to be a Wi-Fi application there, because I'm fairly certain we're going to start seeing, in Sneeze's case where he wants a fast upload, the upload only being on from local devices, the upload being over a gig on local devices.
There you go.
Yep. Not where you're not expected to be roaming to it, because the amount of power it would take for your phone to maintain a connection from a tower even half a mile away would suck the living daylights out of your battery the moment you move 10 meters.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. Essentially, what you guys are saying is, like a Verizon, for example, or an AT&T would go to a school system and say, "Hey, let us put files into your school system. That'll be your Wi-Fi." And then, in addition to that, like the router would be able to transmit millimeter wave and files connectivity at the same time to provide Sneed, for example, with his 1 gig connection, and then also the millimeter wave connection as well. Is that what you guys are saying? Like put fiber.
We'll be seeing applications like that, but the upload would not be on the millimeter wave side. It would be on the 6 gigahertz Wi-Fi side.
So the files connection will be handling the uplink, and the downlink will be served by the millimeter wave.
Yep, because you can more effectively do gig plus downlinks and uplinks more effectively compared to upload, over, say, a millimeter wave thing, because the base station is the one fronting all the power to broadcast than you could do with the upload.
And the use case for this type of setup would be to be able to facilitate what types of use cases? What are we talking about here?
Secure testing applications, secured uplink, live streaming. Like in the case of sports games, like at high school, right? You could literally broadcast 4K live, right?
And that 4K live could be over the cell frequency, so we could pick it up on our phones. But
Right.
we're not going to be uploading that 4K over the cell phones because our phones have such limited battery life at the moment.
Bro, like I don't have a shortage of use cases. I could think of 100 things that I want from mobile networks and then private networks. That's not
that's
the
why I
issue.
asked. Yeah, that's why I asked. I just wanted to know what you guys were thinking about. That's all.
Yeah, these are things that I think like if people sit down and they're like, man, what would I want to see? You have to just take the wraps off of it. Stop thinking you have to do things that are high capacity to a wire. Right? You literally think about what you want to do detached from a wire. You know what I mean?
I definitely, as of now, cannot upload my 12 gigs over any network. None. I just can't.
Yeah, I don't know about the 5G conspiracy theories because I think what are they going to say when there's 6Gs and 7Gs and 8Gs? I mean, look at is it Comcast? They got 10Gs already, or
Yeah. So, Sneed, this should be echoed every time there's a mmWave conspiracy or 5G conspiracy. I spent 3 years working in a 5G lab using mmWave, midband, low band, NTIA spectrum, limited resources, commercial spectrum, limited broadcast. I was healthier then than I am now.
Well, I mean, the one thing that I've always known is that I think people's lack of understanding of physics. You know, that's the problem. You know, people just say anything. You know, no scientific proof, no evidence. They'll just say whatever, and until that day changes, you know, we're just gonna have people just mouthing off, talking about stuff they don't understand. You know, the way I look at it is the more cell sites we have, the lower the power on the channel transmission and broadcasting. That sounds like a win.
Well, and you also got to understand that the closer you are to a cell tower, the umbrella effect. Some of these people have never had the umbrella effect explained to them.
Well, I mean, the strongest radio transmissions for cellular was in 3G, right?
And not only that, Sneed, it's like where I live right now.
Thanks.
My iPhone's reaching to a cell tower 2.8 miles to my northwest, 3 miles to my southeast, and then 3 miles to my northeast. You want to know how much probably radiation is coming out of that damn phone?
Not much.
It's probably higher than if there was a cell tower down the street. I can guarantee it.
You know what I find ironic is that parents think they're doing their kids a service by not letting cell towers go up on their schools, but they'll give kids unlimited data plans to go on TikTok all day and watch all that toxicity.
Thanks.
Right? So what I find disrespectful and unhealthy is the fact that they are creating opportunities for their kids to be exposed to horrible behaviors and terrible thinking process from influential people.
So
I think a lack of parenting is worse than any type of radiation from a cell network.
Oh, pass the collection plate. Pass the collection plate. Sneed and Carlos. Oh my goodness. Pass the collection plate.
Those 3G phones were scientifically proven to impact the reproductive performance in males. So we're actually safer now in 5G than we've been with 3G.
But Pete, why you want to talk logic and sense? Why would you want to do such a thing? That's not fun.
Well, I have a master's in engineering, so
let's go, Pete. Talk that talk, Pete. Talk that talk, Pete.
Bro, you know what's crazy, bro? They're still with that bullshit, bro. And at the end of the day, bro, these are the same frequencies that were being used in television back in the 50s and 60s, bro. Get the hell out of here with the bullshit, bro.
I mean, we got people
at least with the low band was.
Wait, these are the same people that cook their meals in microwaves all day, every day, right?
Wait, you can cook food in microwaves?
Oh yeah, they stand right in front of that. They stand right in front of that damn thing, bro, all day, just heating shit up.
1,000 watts all day.
all day.
I could go to
How many
stove
how
and
many watts
grill.
is a millimeter wave node? 1 watt, 2 watts?
Ooh, Sneed, you're going high power there.
Oh,
Most of them
damn.
were like 750
Kilowatts.
milliwatts.
Milliwatts, I mean. Yeah, they're low powered. And you got people standing in front of microwaves just getting
Hey.
cooked.
Hey, Sneed, the nearest radio station to me, guess how many watts it is? FM radio station, 25,000. Transmitter.
Yeah, it's
broadcast.
25 kilowatts, and you get a 60-mile radius on that.
How about
Yep.
this one for you? You're going to love this one. Aren't these the same people going to tanning salons and just cooking their skin and just destroying their DNA and their skin cells? Same people signing up for melanomas? Isn't this the same people that are probably chugging beers, polluting their liver, smoking cigarettes, bro, toking cigars and hookahs and shit?
Hey, Sneed, that's why I don't do any of those.
But these are the same people. They're selling wolf tickets. They're selectively choosing what they consider to be dangerous, but they probably drive like a-holes. And they probably, like they'll put, see, when it's harmful, it's a narrative, right? But they won't call a spade on their other life choices and decisions, right? These are the same people that probably have unprotected, encroachment moments.
Hey, those 3G phones make me better for them.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, bro. You got to
unprotected encroachment moments, bro.
Sneed taking people to church tonight.
It's real
taking
talk,
people to
bro.
church.
If I'm lying, then stop me. But
let me get on the organ real quick. Put you in the key of A flat right quick, man.
Sneed ain't going to church.
He's not going to church. You got to flower and spout the whole world, bro. What are you talking about, bro? The best, bro.
Sneed ain't taking no one to church. He's offending the whole congregation at this rate.
The congregation.
Hey, man, it's fine, man. It is what it is out here. He was right. He made great points. So it is what it is.
They said that C-band was going to take down airplanes. I ain't seen one go down yet.
No, not one.
Where are they?
No, not one.
Still waiting. They just turned on all the antennas around the entire CLE International Airport, and they're all landing just fine.
I still don't get why they're like, the amount of guard band, any background noise from a small data transmission is like nothing.
Hey, Pete, I wanted to pick your brain since we also were talking about T-Mobile. I want to rest this one. Does 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi interfere possibly with 2.5 gigahertz N41?
The broadcast power on the Wi-Fi is significantly lower than the N41. You're looking at, by default, 150 milliwatts. You may find a minor bit of degraded performance, but that would only be like a 1% packet loss. And at the moment, their hybrid FDD, TDD is more of a cause of that than 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi.
Hey, Bryant, can you do me a favor? Can you tell Myriad what I was saying earlier about my predictions on C-band and the guard band?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Sneed was just saying, there's a chance for it to be lowered. I mean, there's about 200 megs of guard band currently that's been built. The FCC was very conservative to make sure that they could protect everyone who was in the air here in the United States. Other countries, Steve was saying, have even less guard band than that. We're talking about 20, 40, megs, and have had no issues at all in other parts of the world. So America actually has room to be able to lease more, auction more out for the carriers to be able to use. I mean, 200 megs is a lot. That's a huge guard band. It's overkill.
The lowest guard band I've read reported on the 3 gigahertz spectrum for radio altimeters is 20 megahertz.
And the country that currently set up that guard band, do you know what it is, Pete?
Not off the top of my head, but they also have a lower chance of underwear bombers, and they don't check for terrorists on the flight.
I think it's Japan. They're either 20 or 40 megahertz. France is
Japan's
also
at 40.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't heard, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't heard about any planes falling out of the sky in Japan as a result of C-band interfering with altimeters in those countries. And if we got 200 megs, then what Sneed said is absolutely right. And we could have auctioned off even more.
No, we can have another
safe.
option.
We can have another option and be perfectly safe.
The impressive thing about Japan is they also don't remove their shoes at the airport.
Will we have another option of C-band or another spectrum band first?
No, another option of C-band.
No, but Trex said what comes first. I think it's going to be a separate, like a different frequency that'll be auctioned. The extra guard that we have, I think that gets auctioned like maybe 5 years from now.
I certainly hope so. I mean, we could use about 150 of those megs.
We're
to
going
continue,
to have to wait until Congress decides to allow the FCC to auction off spectrum again. And with this Congress...
Oh, God.
Okay, so 25 years
maybe
from now.
we have to wait 2 years before
25 years from now. Got it. Thanks, Pete.
Thanks
for ruining all of our wet dreams.
Look, hey, Mojo, look, man. Listen, you know me. You know the SMT. You've been following me a long time. I want all the smoke, bro. We choose the smoke. We always do.
He wants all the smoke, and he wants to ride the lightning.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, man, it is what it is. If you
want to get more of this content, join the Patreon or YouTube members. This is happening all the time.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Hey, Sneed. I was at a show where there was airplanes about 2 months ago, I want to say now.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing came out of the sky. And
Yeah,
77 was nice and clean and good and ready to go with 300 megabits down on the airfield.
Now, be excited for the day where those channels deepen 160, 180, 200, and you start getting multiple channels of 100 megahertz or more, right? Mm-hmm. So we're talking, the 100 N77 aggregate with the additional N77, aggregate with the N48, aggregate with the, the N41. In T-Mobile's case, they've got a bunch of different things going on. See, now we're talking, man. And
Sneed, that T-Mobile, I'm looking forward for the N2, N25, and 77 N41 aggregation, let me tell you.
Remember, they got, I don't know what the situation is in Boulder, Denver, Longmont, but in Cleveland specifically, they have 40 megahertz of N77 here. So that would be additional supplemental to the 160 of N41.
I think they only purchased 35 of the lower ones here.
Okay.
Man, in my market, they have 246 megahertz of midband in total.
They got 240 in midband here as well. They got a lot of PCS.
They got
T-Mobile. T-Mobile. They got a lot of spectrum, B. They got a lot of spectrum.
Still trash. Sorry about that. I thought I muted myself. I apologize.
You're lying, bro. Why you capping, bro? Oh my God.
Hey, Brian, where do you see Verizon?
We're not talking about trash networks on this podcast.
My apologies, Pete. My apologies.
Hey, all I'm going to say is this, bro. 40 megahertz did so much with so little spectrum versus having so much, and it still messes up to this day. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't disagree, Carlos. I'm just being a little obnoxious, man. My bad, man. Somebody just asked me a question. Who else was it? I'm sorry. Somebody asked a question.
Where do you see Verizon 3 to 5 years from now?
Dominating the market.
They can't dominate if they don't get rid of the.
Do you see them raising pricing?
Well, Austin said something, and then someone else said something. Austin, what did you say?
Austin said they can't dominate unless they get rid of 720p streaming cap.
Nah, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
No,
I mean,
they're going back to 240 on the Beyond Max and that shit.
Bro, 720p is literally half HD.
It's HD, man. It's fine. Nobody's
Half
complaining about that.
HD.
Nobody's complaining about that.
I don't know,
Everything's
man.
fine.
The cellular network tech enthusiast community, like everybody here in this chat room, they're not happy with the most expensive plan on
Bro.
Verizon being 720p.
I mean, come on.
Bro.
What?
You can get 1080p if you like. You just gotta pay a little bit more. Pay $10 more. You get 1080p.
Why?
And
But you know
go
what's
over
crazy?
to Magenta Max and they don't
So-
cap you at 4K.
So I've
Yeah.
asked
Yeah, they
this
just
question.
you just get like hacked. Yeah, you just get hacked.
Hey, there's a
Hold
new
up.
carrier that is above the hacking.
AT&T
jokes.
does 4K on their most expensive plan on LTE.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. AT&T does not throttle you either. So if you want to give the hack,
But that's not. I mean, but that's not for the normal customer. That's not a deal breaker. If it was, I think Verizon's churn will probably be a little higher than it is. So if I'm Verizon, that's the least of my.
use a VPN to get 4K on DSS.
Exactly. It's really not a deal breaker,
Brian.
guys. It's really not. Go ahead.
Brian, the only people that I hear crying about this are people in here, bro.
Exactly. It's not a deal
I've
breaker
asked-
to anybody else.
I've asked the normal Joe Blow people. I've actually, bro, sometimes I got to get these answers, bro, and I don't know how to do it. I literally just sit and stand. I'll sometimes just pull up to a Verizon store, bro, and ask people walking out, hey, do you know that your plan only includes 720p streaming and you can't do, high definition 1080? They're like, what do we care? It's a small screen. That's exactly what a lot of them say.
But those are the
They're
same
like,
people, Carlos, that don't even know what they're paying for. They don't even know what perks they have.
Bro, but that's
Those
the
are
thing. But that's the thing. But that's the
those
thing.
are
You're
the same
talking.
people
You're
that
talking
don't even
about.
activate their plans.
You're talking
Okay,
about
so-
0.5%. This community is
Yeah,
only
but Los-
0.5%
right.
at the
It's a
max
small
of it.
Yes, but Carlos,
That care.
right?
The
but
other 99.5%
but
don't give a damn.
Carlos, they got Start Unlimited and they got Welcome Unlimited. Of course, they don't care, and of course, they don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, guys. Verizon has allowed for customers to get 1080p streaming if they like. You just got to pay $10 more a month.
15.
So no, it's 10. No,
And
it's
in
10.
mar-
It's $10. It's $10.
And
So I mean, like,
in markets.
But Brian, it doesn't make sense that you have full HD and beyond on ultra wideband and on DSS and LTE. They have the audacity to charge $10 when they spend hundreds, thousands of dollars each year on that plan and still have a 10
But this is the
80p
thing.
screen and beyond.
When
Well, I mean-
when your N5 turns into regular N5 and that's not DSS anymore, and I've seen it here and I've seen it in different markets, it will be uncapped.
probably.
The
But I mean,
nationwide. No,
until-
not probably. It is.
yeah, and it's like until Verizon gets to a place, I'm sure, where they feel comfortable unleashing the beasts, then they won't, because they know that there are some data hogs out there that will break stuff. So at the end of the day, like I said, I still strongly believe that's not a deal breaker for the vast majority of consumers out there. So I'm not mad at Verizon for keeping things at 720. There was someone else who asked another question. I want to make sure that I answer it if you guys remember.
Pete was gonna say something.
Okay, cool. What you got, Pete?
Lois, when you talk to them about the resolution cap and whatnot, some of them you said don't care, it's a small screen, yada yada yada.
Oh.
How many of them looked at you like you were speaking in tongues?
No. Some people. No, a lot of them knew what I was talking about. They just said we don't. I told them, I was like, you can click on this right here and you can actually bump up the quality. They're like, takes too much time. I just hit play and play.
Exactly. And to the comment from EM Tech, you're absolutely right. And that 0.5% can also go online and pay $10 more to get that 1080p if it's that important to them. So you're right, and I agree. But there's also an option for them to get that 1080p and pay $10 more if they decide they want to.
So why do I have to pay $10 more when I'm already paying $90?
Because that's what the company's charging.
I would like. When do you think we'll see more MIMO on phones? Because isn't it only 4x4? I mean, they have, like Ricky was saying, 256 by 256.
Oh Jesus!
Why would they see by 6x6 on phones or 8x8?
I don't think that's excessive nickeling and diming, man. I honestly don't. I just think that they're just effectively managing their network performance. And when they get to a point and get to a place where they feel confident that their network can support a little bit more, then they'll give a little bit more. But until then, that's what they're doing. I don't think that's nickel and diming at all. But you have
Yes,
other
it
options.
is.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, at the end of the day,
Okay, so then
it's their network.
why is it that you could stream 1080p and 4K on ultra wideband even on prepaid?
You can do it on postpaid as well, but I mean, if you just may have to pay a little bit more.
But I thought Verizon was king in the network.
They are, and they have the right to charge what they want for their network, right? Just like T-Mobile can like give you 1080p and 4K, but also let you get hacked. Like it's their network, right?
Dude, I blame Band 13 why they do that.
I mean, it could be a part of it, but I mean, we're talking about ultra wideband. That's the only band where you can get that high definition streaming anyway, 1080p and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I'm sure Band 13 probably doesn't have as much to do with it, but
And
I
we've
mean,
already
I don't know, man. They're still building out. Maybe they feel like until we can get 100 megs of C-band on air or more of their 160 one megahertz that they have average on air, until they get to that place, maybe they feel like it's safer to go 720p right now. And the majority of customers don't have an issue with that. But for the customers that do, they can either pay the $10 more or I don't know. But I mean, somebody has to effectively manage the network, and that's what Verizon seems to be wanting to do. It is what it is.
I mean, we've already had people say that C band is already starting to get congested, so they
Yeah,
probably
people say a
won't
lot
do.
of things. People say a lot of things. It is
I
what that
mean,
is. What
Dennis
that
has
is.
had
So
it. Dennis has had it in where he's at. I mean,
yeah, when it
you
comes to
know,
Dennis, everybody's congested except for AT&T. So I don't know. They barely have. I don't know. It is what it is. But I personally myself haven't seen that in the few markets that I've tested. I haven't seen this quote unquote congested that people. I don't know. Like what is congested? Is it 100 megs down? Because that's 100 megs. If 100 megs down is congested, that's not congested. So what are we talking about when we say congested?
I think
Like
the
I've
carriers
said
think it's 25.
before, I've seen 5G ultra wideband do the same speed as LTE. It just literally is a freaking icon.
I
So
mean, so does that mean that LTE did 500 megs and C-band did 500 megs? Or because if that's the case, that's not congested either. That's a good thing. That just means LTE is performing really well.
I literally just said that I've seen LTE and 5G ultra wideband do 200 megs at the same time. It's literally a decorative icon.
Okay, so that means I guess LTE just was performing really well at that time. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? Is that like a complaint or?
Everyone says, "Oh, 5G is supposed to be the future," but I mean, I've seen lackluster. I mean, if you're gonna judge it off of a T-Mobile speed test, yes, but otherwise,
It's not finished being built. So much of the country is only transmitting 60 megs. I mean, like before you make that like assertion, isn't it fair to let them fully build out? Because if you're going to compare it to T-Mobile, which is almost fully built out, I mean, Verizon's not finished yet.
dude, I've
Don't
seen
So
I,
like,
I've I've seen 100 megahertz in Fort Myers, Florida, only do 80.
don't consider
I mean, I've seen a boulder fall and hit a tree. All right. So what? I mean, it happens sometimes. It's not going to be perfect everywhere. It's 3,000 miles from one part of the country to the other. There's going to be spots, I'm sure,
don't
regardless of carrier.
consider enhance the performance of enhanced mobile broadband to be the marker for the entire spectrum modulation that still hasn't even left the oven.
That's what I'm saying. It's not finished being built. Like I understand there's going to be spots, and somebody somewhere in the country is going to get, oh, well, I only got okay. I acknowledge that there are going to be anecdotal stuff that happens sometimes in some places. I get it. It's not perfect. We already know that. But we already have also attested to the fact that there have been tons of cases where people have gotten tremendous performance out of ultra wideband.
One thing,
So, I
one
mean,
thing,
I don't know what to say, man.
one thing I'm glad of is I'm not in DC because Verizon's DSS 5G. I've seen Luke Miani posted one time that he said, "Well, looks like 5G has been underwhelming. And he posted that he was only getting 2.8 megabits down.
All right. Well, I don't know what to say, man. I mean, it happens. I was just in DC yesterday, and I got like 300 down. I was on Ultrawide, man, but it is what it is. 5G nationwide isn't the moneymaker for Verizon anyway.
Wait, were you
So
on
it's
millimeter
literally-
wave or C-band?
I was on
There's
C-band.
very, very, very little C-band.
There's no C-band over there that much.
There's very,
I
very,
was
very, very
I
little.
was on C-band, guys. I was just in DC yesterday. I was on C-band. So I don't know.
Hold on, guys. Hold on a second. He just told you where he was and what he was connected to. Why is that not acceptable?
There's a few people in the community that live in DC and they barely connect to it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
Community
why. I'm just saying, why is Brian at being questioned that he was connected to it? Why is that a thing? I mean, we have trust in the community. Nobody's here to lie.
I was telling Brandon that there was very little. I wasn't questioning him. I was like, good. Well, good. I mean, it's finally that was an area that was supposed to be cleared a while ago. Keon was even complaining to me about it, saying that there's no C-band. N41's whipping Verizon's behind in DC.
I don't know. Root metrics differs. Beg to differ on that. And I mean, like I said, I was just there yesterday, and like I said, I was on C-band. And I got 300 down. It was pretty good. So I'm not sure when you spoke to the people that you spoke to. Maybe it was recent, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But like I said, I was just there yesterday, so it's performing pretty well. Like I think Verizon's moving pretty fast, guys. So if it was a few weeks ago or a month ago or whenever, I mean that's a long time. So I don't know. But I was literally just there yesterday.
I think we should do Ricky a favor. We should let him know that a lot of towers across America are starting to get connected to C-band, and they're getting inter-cell aggregation. And it's become a real issue.
Aggregation.
You're firing up Ricky tonight.
Yeah.
That's one hey, if you want to argue with someone, that is a person to argue with. It's C-band. No, it's S-band.
I don't care.
It's 3.7. It's 3.7 gigahertz. There.
Yeah, it's mid-band. How about that? It's mid-band.
No, he'll find a reason to argue with that too.
Now Ricky wants to tase me. Great. Now I'm on his shit list. Awesome. Oh man.
You guys crazy.
You want the lightning. You said you want the lightning, Sneed.
Hey, Carlos, I was at GD.
What?
Oh, what?
Never mind.
Oh, hold on. Let me check.
I don't know, Anthony. We're hearing that by the end of the year, all is set. All the C-band will be available for all carriers.
You mean every tower is gonna have C-band connectivity for every American?
Yes, C-band across the nation, and we will no longer need intercell aggregation.
And we're always gonna need that.
I can't wait until January next year, since we'll actually see who will have the best network. You know, whoever's optimized the network's the best with the spectrum that they have. T-Mobile has all theirs. Well
everybody.
C-band.
Hey, yesterday, Trex, Friday, everybody was taking a dump on AT&T, man. They were sticking it to them pretty bad.
Oof.
Yeah, man.
Great.
Everybody's kind of down on AT&T on the wireless side.
I do agree a little bit with that, but I'm not going to say anything. We have to see where AT&T will continue to spend their money. You know,
we're going to spend it in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, exactly, Pete. They're gonna spend it in Pittsburgh, and the rest of the country is gonna be ass. Excuse me.
We're gonna be on band 12 in the rest of the country. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Hey, I can't wait to be on band 12, 5 megahertz on T-Mobile. I can't wait, Pete. Can't wait.
Hey,
you're already on that on LTE. You just look out and sometimes aggregate on to 66.
Hey,
no,
MS,
they're gonna move all that. They're gonna move all that over to NR.
MS, make sure you get give us a clarification exactly what you want to know, because they both show up as 5G UW. The only difference is you're gonna get, like, it's when it comes to like the home internet, for example, right? You're gonna be restricted to 300 down and 20 up on 3.7, but on millimeter wave you're gonna be over a gig per second on downlink, and uplink is unrestricted. So I don't know if you mean on mobile. Is there a difference? Not really.
I know this much. If I had a Verizon Home Internet bucks, my house would be powered by C-band.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Luis. I don't think T-Mobile or I should say, I don't think AT&T and Verizon are holding back C-band anymore. I think they said to hell with the FAA a long time ago. That was just a formal announcement, just to appease anyone who thought the FAA was worth a damn, which they're not.
Sneed,
Alright,
that whole ordeal was so annoying.
Bro, I'm sorry, man, but I'm not going to sit there and support incompetence of the highest order. I'm just not going to do it.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it was annoying on both ends, to be honest. The FAA, definitely.
I mean, look, a broken clock is right 2 times a day, bro, and the FAA wasn't able to be right 2 times. So I'd rather have a broken clock. You know?
Yep.
Are you going to make predictions, Sneed?
What's up, Chuck?
Are you going to make predictions since, next year Verizon and AT&T will have both of their spectrum bands, all the spectrum bands. Are you going to compare fourth quarter, make a prediction, fourth quarter of this year to the open signal results or whatever root metrics, and compare it to the results when they come out in the quarter 1 of 2024? Because that will tell the real who's going to have, the best network at that time, because they'll have all the spectrum bands that they have. Verizon could be doing 2 gigabits right now if they had their spectrum on air.
I think the speed disparity is going to be completely gone in 2024. Like the T-Mobile capacity, the Verizon, the AT&T, they're all going to be pretty close. You're not going to really be able to distinguish them too much.
The differentiation will be millimeter wave.
That's the only way, because all the other stuff's going to be 1 gigabit per second. You know what I mean?
The dead zones will also be a differentiation. I want AT&T to fix their shit here, and I'm not going to be surprised when they don't.
Yeah, but who's going to have the most dead zones in 2024, Pete?
T-Mobile.
We're gonna need to have a community sourced coverage map, updating Stetson's app and figuring out who has the most dead zones in 2024 and 2025.
I know one spot
Have
where
you promoted his app yet, Sneed? It just came out like 5 days ago.
Have I what?
Promoted Stetson's app, speed test app, and all that? Yeah.
I haven't even had the time to really sit down and check it out, but I definitely I'll check it out, and yeah, for sure. I'll probably.
It's not a speed test app; it's a coverage map app.
It's really good too.
It is.
Yeah,
it's really, really good. It's really good.
I could share it with the community on the community tab, and then also tweet it out.
Yeah, man, Stetson shows a lot of love to the pink guys. I'm not too happy about that, but it is what it is. We do what we have to do. We live. But cool.
Well, there's gonna be one. I went past.
I'm sorry, Sneed. My bad. I couldn't help it. It's a relapse. I'm sorry.
It's a relapse.
I went past at Hayfield yesterday, and they my Verizon kept the T-Mobile pink thong alive. But the Verizon only has one bar.
Sometimes, Austin, you might have to rock the magenta thong. Sometimes the red panties. Sometimes the blue Speedo. It's just whatever was working at the time.
I resent that.
Hey, I do that.
I resent that, Sneed. I resent that remark.
Oh, snap. PA Tech's got Dish, so he's got an orange thong too.
You just got an orange life jacket. There you go. That's all I had.
Anybody ever keep their Sprint thong, the yellow one, or are they still rocking the?
No, that thing died. That thing died. What are you talking about, Sneed?
What are you talking about? I still got my Sprint line.
You still have service?
Yeah, man.
Yes, I do.
Oh shit!
Maximum flight altitude reached.
Yes, I do.
Somebody's drawn it up.
Hey, question for you, Bryant. This is kind of a prediction or kind of looking forward. With all this new capacity, with the networks that are being built out in this modernization process, I mean, the network's really starting to come together. I'm looking forward to a day where we actually have legitimate build your own hotspot plans. Is that going to happen?
It's an interesting question, Sneed.
Like a dedicated hardware that's not a, me and Carlos putting our freaking home gateways in our cars, but something legitimate, like, a nice, a decent piece of hardware, some kind of a Netgear or something, but like I can build my own plan and it's affordable. It's like the same cost as a home internet. It's designed to be mobile, so you're never going to be on a single site just wrecking stuff on a sector, right? Can I get a 500 gig per month, 400 gig per month hotspot?
Can I hear the people?
Where if I was a nomad, that would replace needing like a traditional broadband connection.
Yo, Sneed, I want to say something. Can I hear the people that drive?
I don't think so, Sneed. That sounds like it would be counterintuitive to the telco business model, but I won't rule it out 100%.
Because we haven't seen any innovation with respect to hotspot plans. Nothing. Like,
They could have a
what is the best mobile hotspot plan on the market right now? 100 gigs?
Somewhere around there, yes.
And we have not seen anything since. And before that, it was 50 gigs, and they're expensive.
Well, there's a reason for that. And I think the biggest reason for it is because it's counterintuitive to the business model telcos have. They want you to be, have something for the house and have something that's mobile, but they don't want necessarily a mobile solution to, negate the home internet option. So that's the best I can, kind of think of. That seems pretty reasonable to me, but I can't see a day where 500 gigs is what's offered on mobile broadband as far as like what you're talking about. I can't see it, but I don't know everything. I don't want to rule it out completely, because again, we've never been in this place in American history as far as internet connectivity is concerned, where we have 161 average megahertz on one channel. I mean, we've never transmitted this much capacity before. So if it's possible, it will be now, but I don't know that it would be productive to the current business model.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard from him. Now you need to stick with your nomad internet box.
Did you see a
Imagine if
speed tier
T-Mobile were.
Could you see a speed tier hotspot? Like you pay, 200 megabits and 200 megabits up and not up, 200 megabits down, and then 20 megabits up, and that be a speed tier hotspot. And have it be unlimited. And you pay $100 for it, and you're guaranteed those speeds.
Well, it could be capped on a speed. It could be capped at 50 megabits per second downlink. It could be capped at 10 megabit per second uplink. It doesn't have to crush a sector. You know what I mean?
I mean, honestly, you're probably just better off getting the Verizon Home Internet and
Right, but it's not designed for that in terms of the way it's actually constructed. Right? It's called fixed wireless access, fixed to an address. Right? So if you do that, you're technically violating the terms of the service.
Does T-Mobile fix their stuff? Because I know someone that I know in person.
It's called fixed wireless access. It's a fixed connection. By fixed, they mean fixed to a location.
That's weird. Their T-Mobile home internet box, they were able to move it in an RV and go all the way from the bottom end of the state of Florida and go all the way up to the top and have
It's
service.
not. It's not something that the company guarantees, though. What they're doing is they're technically violating the service agreement that they have with the carrier. But I mean, if it works, then fine. But it's not that they're not supposed to do that. Is what Sneed is saying. It's called fixed wireless access. So
And T-Mobile can cancel their plan at any time. You know, that
Right.
breaks their term of service.
yep.
Austin, you should have kept your OnePlus International.
They're getting rid of that from what I heard from sources. So anyone that
Yeah,
does
more than likely.
OnePlus International, they're going to can it.
Bearded Dragon, since the topic is about T-Mobile tonight, where do you see T-Mobile 2 years from now?
Bankrupt.
2 years from now. Coast to coast, voice over NR, with the exception of Pittsburgh. Because that RF engineer, man, something's wrong with him. Let's see, where else? We're gonna be seeing mid-band aggregation, and I'm hoping at least mmWave in the top 10 population census tracks. But not going to hold my breath. I think we'd sooner find, voice over NR in Pittsburgh than all of those.
Oh. He trolling.
I mean, I agree with everything he says. I mean, I think they're slowly going to start to roll out mmWave.
Well, not only that, the voice over NR, they've now brought it to 4 cities now instead of the last 2.
Yep. And I'm going to say I really love it when I visit Salt Lake City, and Sneed can vouch. I sound crisp.
Wait, Sneed, you have voice over NR?
For which carrier?
T-Mobile?
No, not here. Cincinnati has it.
No, this is me calling his Verizon line on my T-Mobile, and I sound really crisp.
Yeah, it sounds good.
So T-Mobile's NR is like Verizon's LTE, voice over LTE.
You know, I think
That's what I
Neville
heard.
is right. I don't often say he's right about stuff much anymore, but I think he's right about one thing. I don't think we're gonna see much of a difference in sound quality between Volti and Vonar. But I would like to see just the reliability of the calling for T-Mobile improve on voice over NR. You know, no drops, no issues with handoffs, and just overall just a better performer. Because when I was on band 12 for T-Mobile, it was an absolute shit show. So
this
but,
when
I
I
mean,
got
when you're on N71, it's fine. It's when it's on like band 12. And that's the thing. They're leaving the band 12 on LTE, and the plan is to move all that spectrum to 5G. I have concerns, man. For anybody who's not on a 5G phone, you should really, really just get a 5G phone or leave T-Mobile and go to AT&T. I don't know what to tell you.
Yo, Sneed, there are places in Florida, like I told you, when I was going through from Orlando to the other side of the state to visit some family. If I was going to have to make any type of call to a family member, I knew better than to make it on T-Mobile because it was just band 12. Band 12. There was no NR, no band 66, nothing else, just 12. And that was fun. I was trying my best to stay on T-Mobile because it was actually good in Orlando, Florida, and I was like, oh, well, we're going to give T-Mobile the benefit of the doubt. And nah, I had to go eat the red velvet cake, as I like to call Verizon. I had to eat it. Had no choice. Because where I was, Verizon had the N5 and then all their LTE. in spot.
Are we surprised? Are we surprised by that? I'm not.
How much band 13 were you using?
There's only 10 megahertz.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you got.
Yep. Band 13, 10 megahertz. Band 66 was 20, and N5 was 10.
All right, good stuff, guys. We're kind of approaching 2 hours, but I got to wrap up the show. We're up against it. Big shout out to everybody on the panel: Carlos, Trex, Bearded Dragon, Austin, Bryant, Brandon. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Appreciate everybody in the audience, and engaged in the live chat, chatting away, discussing things, asking questions, just being engaged with the content. Appreciate you guys very much. Big shout out to my YouTube members. I see you guys with your logos. Hashtag Mod Squad, hashtag Replay Crew, hashtag 2Live Crew, hashtag Save the Bear, hashtag Help the Bear, hashtag Ravioli Gang. If you're eating dinner.
Hashtag I'm the bear.
Hey, Brian, check the private DM on here on the StreamYard.
Appreciate everybody for the super chats. There were several tonight. Thank you guys for those.
Understood.
And also, I got a couple of coffees, man. That was really nice of you guys to buy me a coffee. Link in the description. The guys looked out and bought me some coffees. Thank you.
Hashtag AT&T doxes.
That's a hybrid. That's a new one.
Hashtag Pittsburgh.
Hashtag the Berg.
Beat with the zingers tonight, man.
I have some of them every now and then.
Yeah. Make sure in supporting of Doxus Dennis, make sure you put French fries on your burgers. Apparently that's something you got to do.
What?
Get that man something to clean his shoes.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, but you got to put fries in like all your sandwiches and wraps and burgers and stuff.
No, I'm gonna say this for the people in the back.
Hey, I'll give him credit, bro. It's good in the burger, bro. It actually slaps.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
I like those crispy onions.
I didn't know that was a thing though. Like
the onion rings. Never mind.
Oh,
Pete, why'd you
You're
have
making me hungry.
to hit me with the onion rings, sir?
Hey, at least I'm not sharing what I made for dinner. That'd make everybody hungry.
What'd you make? Because let's make the
Involved scallop, shrimp, and bacon.
Ooh.
Well, you just made MS.
You're a dick.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. We out this piece.
Have a good night, guys.
Yeah.
Peace.